NASCAR's newest division, the Super Speedway Sportsman. Boy, are they unpredictable. Fresh from an under-the-lights appearance at Charlotte, led by number 97, Marty Ward. They will test the unique tri-cornered oval at Pocono today. TNN Motorsports presents the T.G.I. Fridays Coca-Cola 150 for the NASCAR Sportsman cars and the Pocono ARCA 150. Great day here in the Poconos, but just a little bit damp. We've had some scattered showers this morning, so the racetrack right now is considerably wet. Another one drifted over about 2 minutes ago, dumped 30 seconds more rain, and then scooted away back over the Pocono Mountains. So the start of our show here will be a little bit delayed. We've got a unique, well, it's a quadruple header this weekend for you on TNN. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Joy. Today, live from Pocono, the Sportsman 150 and the ARCA 150. Later on today at 5 p.m. from Myrtle Beach, the Busch Grand National cars and the Carolina Pride Bud 250. And tomorrow, a Winston Cup race here at Pocono. We'll lead off with the Sportsman, NASCAR's newest series. Experienced race cars, inexperienced drivers at these speeds. And a very unique racetrack on which to contest this event. This racetrack has turns, 3 different turns, 3 different radiuses, 3 different bankings, 3 different length straightaways. And maybe it's appropriate that the fellow who's on the pole for this racetrack had never seen it before this weekend. Glenn Jarrett's with him.
Well, Mike, the rain has started a little bit now, and Wally Fowler, who is the pole sitter, was kind enough to let me stand here and hold the umbrella for him. Wally's the pride of Campobello, South Carolina. Came up here for the first time, put it on the pole. Never seen the racetrack, never had a pole before. Looking like a good weekend for you, Wally.
Well, I hope so, Glenn. Unfortunately, the rain has put a damper on things, but maybe the clouds will lift and we'll get to race after a while. I hope so.
Well, we're going to race, and I know that you do a lot of other racing back home, a lot of dirt track racing. You're used to winning. You think you can win your first Super Speedway event here today?
I believe I can. We unloaded off the trailer Thursday and was real fast just right out of the box and hadn't changed anything on the car. Last practice session yesterday was real good, so I believe we can do it.
Well, Mike, he told me earlier that he thought he had the car to do it. He just said it again. Keep your eye on Wally Fowler. We're going to get this thing started, folks.
Thanks, Glenn. Joining me, Darrell Waltrip is qualified 12th for tomorrow's Winston Cup race here at Pocono. This is a good series, and it's giving these drivers real good experience.
You know what I like? I mean, there's Wally. He's never been here before. He's never been on the pole before, but he's got those Dale Earnhardt sunglasses on. He's got that hat on, and I don't know what's going on inside, but he looks like a race car driver anyway. He ought to have a lot of fun today.
This is good experience for these drivers, not just in how to race on the Winston Cup tracks at these speeds, but also how to handle trouble at these speeds. It's something most of these fellows have never done.
Yeah, I'm sure most of them have experience on smaller racetracks, quarter miles around their local towns, wherever they may live. But when you get to a track like this, the average qualifying there was 142 miles an hour, so he's doing 160 mile an hour at the end of these long straightaways. When you see trouble, you've got to have quick reaction times, and you got to realize that those brakes on these heavy cars don't just come to a sudden stop. So they're going to learn a lot, and if they have any aspirations at all of moving up, this is a great training ground for them.
Now, these are good race cars. They're mostly ex-Winston Cup cars.
Yeah, I'm sure that probably out there somewhere there's a car of mine or two, and probably a Rusty Wallace car or two, and an Earnhardt car or two. These are all old Winston Cup cars with certainly detuned engines in them. I think most of them run 2-barrel carburetors and probably a 9-to-1 engine compression ratio. So they don't make the horsepower that we're accustomed to, but trust me, these guys don't need the horsepower we're accustomed to.
An interesting strategy because it's a 150-mile race, and some of them may try to stretch it on fuel. Here's the weather. Taped a few minutes ago. That's green is shower activity moving through the Pocono Mountains, but there are some scattered periods of sunlight, so we hope to get both races in today. The ARCA 150 is also part of today's show. I don't think I should have worn this tie with the raindrops on it. It might have been a bad omen today, but we're going to take you to the exciting world of speed and beauty, and we're going to be back here at Pocono shortly with an update on the weather and hopefully get both our races in today. Go later on to Myrtle Beach for the Busch Show and Winston Cup tomorrow, so stay right with us. Here on TNN, we'll be back to Pocono shortly. Ride the track. Darrell, when we were in New York Wednesday, these didn't look like raindrops, but now I'm getting blamed for this whole deal here.
Well, it could be your fault. I don't know. It's somebody's fault. It was the Long Pond straightaway's even wet.
Well, there's 150 lakes around Pocono. Maybe there's 151 today. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, when I found out we were coming back to Pocono, I had mixed emotions because the last time I was here, I drove in the race, wrecked, hit a guy, knocked him into next month. This is the guy, Bobby Gerhardt. But Bobby, things looking a little better today.
That wasn't a real good day for both of us, but we're real excited about today's car. We picked up some major sponsorship from XI Batteries, and we got a brand new race car sitting here, and I think we're going to have a great day.
Well, good luck to you. Mike?
All right, I'm going to call the Thai police and see if I can get a change here and change our luck and change the weather. We're going to rejoin the exciting world of speed and beauty. Then we'll be back here to Pocono. Somebody will do a not-so-rain dance, but we'll be back in a little bit.
Super Speedway action is always exciting. Whether it's Winston Cup, Busch Grand National, or the ARCA Supercar Series. ARCA comes to Pocono today, led by number 16, defending series champion Tim Steele. NASCAR's newest division, the Super Speedway Sportsman. Boy, are they unpredictable. Fresh from an under-the-lights appearance at Charlotte, led by number 97, Marty Ward. They will test the unique tri-cornered oval at Pocono today. CNN Motorsports proudly presents coverage of the T.G.I. Friday's Coca-Cola 150 for NASCAR and Sportsman cars and the ARCA 150 for the ARCA Supercar Series from Pocono International Raceway. It is a cloudy, overcast day for racing here in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. The temperature's in the mid-70s, but so is the humidity. Nonetheless, we expect a great doubleheader of racing for you on TNN today. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Joy, along with Buddy Baker. And who knows, we may be seeing the next Dale Earnhardt in one of these two races today because both the Sportsman and the ARCA drivers are looking to move on and move up to Winston Cup racing at some point in their careers.
Well, Mike, you hit it right on the head. Everybody thinks that all the drivers are going to come out of the Busch Grand National Circuit. But let me tell you, there's some drivers in this field today that want to go in the Winston Cup, and they are really exciting to watch. You're going to enjoy this race.
One thing about super speedway racing, Buddy, there's really no way to get a feel for what it's like unless you get out here in divisions like these and gain that needed experience. You can't just jump into Winston Cup racing at Daytona or here at Pocono.
Well, you get both divisions here. You get a little bit of short track experience, a little road racing experience because of the flat corners, long straightaways to practice your drafting and all. So it's very exciting to watch, and it gives a guy with a little less horsepower a chance to run up front, maybe when he couldn't when it's a horsepower racetrack.
Should be a good show today. We're going to lead off with the NASCAR Sportsman cars. Let's go down to the starting grid. Randy Pemberton.
Thanks, Mike. Wally Fowler on the pole. You know, you talk about guys wanting to move up into the Busch Series or Winston Cup. Wally Fowler might want to think about it. He obviously has a little natural ability. You know why? First time he was ever here about a month ago, never saw the track before, put this car on the pole. Wally, first of all, how'd you do that?
A lot of luck, I guess. Just had some luck from a man upstairs.
What about going Winston Cup or Busch Grand National? Is this a stepping stone for yourself?
Sure is. I'm just waiting on an opportunity. Hope to look good here and maybe back to Charlotte and see what happens.
You confident about winning today?
Yeah, pretty confident. We've been fast all the time we were up here before. Of course, we got here yesterday, and we practiced this morning, and the car was pretty quick. So.
Okay. Good luck this afternoon. Mike?
Thanks, Randy. Wally Fowler will start from the pole. We'll have a look at the other half of today's doubleheader at Pocono when we come back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the T.G.I. Friday's Coca-Cola 150 on TNN is brought to you by Avalon Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. By Split Fire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more till you use it. And by Little Caesars Pizza, where you always get 2 great pizzas for 1 low price.
Later on today, you'll be seeing also the ARCA Supercars in the Pocono ARCA 150. Tim Steele, Jeff Purvis on the front row for that one, ahead of Bob Shack and Frank Kimmel. But right now, the NASCAR Sportsman machines are ready to roll. Let's go to the outside pole. Here's Randy.
Well, on the outside of row 1, Mike, is Lester Lesneski. And, you know, a lot of these cars that are in this field today are former Busch Series cars, Winston Cup cars. Not this one. This guy built his own car. I guess you had a little bit of help, but you built this strictly for the series.
Yeah, exactly. I did have a lot of help. Believe me, it takes a lot of help to run any kind of race car. And so far, we're so good with this thing. Learned a lot with it.
Okay, good luck today. There they go, Mike. They're going to fire the engine. 60 laps here for the Sportsman division this afternoon.
Lester Lesniewski scored a pair of second-place finishes at Charlotte in May. We'll be back with the starting grid after this. Welcome back to Pocono, where they'll be racing in NASCAR Sportsman Division in one lap behind the GMC safety truck. Let's have a look at the starting lineup. On the pole, Wally Fowler from South Carolina in a Chevrolet. Lester Lesniewski's Chevy from North Carolina is second. In row number 2, Bobby Fox Jr. from Long Island and Mickey Hudspeth from Junior Johnson Country. In row number 3, Ron Hickson from Tennessee and Jerry Rector from South Carolina. In the 4th row, Marty Ward, who won twice at Charlotte, and Andy Thurman from Louisiana. In row number 5, David Smith of South Carolina and Pride Connor from New Jersey. In the 6th row, Tom Sherrill from South Carolina and Tim Neighbors from North Carolina. In row number 7, Shari Minter out of North Carolina and Mike Lavetri from Connecticut. In row number 8, Sherry Blakely from South Carolina and Ronnie Grindstaff from Pennsylvania. Mike Galdis from Gaffney, South Carolina, and David Hagelin out of New Jersey. In the 10th row, Don Wagner from New Jersey and Henry Benfield from North Carolina. Then it's David R. Smith, 2 Dave Smiths in the field. He's from Florida, and James Lamoureux from Pennsylvania. Stuart Ramshorst from North Carolina and Bill Ferguson towed all the way in from Michigan. Gary Ritter shares the 13th row with Danny Bumbaco. They're both from New Jersey. Then it's Tom Weiss Chevrolet out of New York State and James McCallion, whose Oldsmobile will not start. Finally, Robin Caldwell of South Carolina has been added to the field. These cars qualified 1 month ago, but were rained out of their appearance at Pocono, so they're set to go now, and they will start single file on this 2.5-mile tri-oval. Every turn, every straightaway is different here, buddy.
Well, you just said the key thing. They're starting single file. That helps a lot when they go down this long straightaway, getting filed in the number 1 corner.
It'll be Wally Fowler out front. As they get set for a start here at Pocono, they come slowly to speed, and we are under green.
Mike, as you see, they're not going to stay in single file very long. They're 3 deep already back here. What they have to do, though, the third line through number 1 and 2 corners, right down on the very bottom of the apron, so everybody will have to get single file through the corner.
Challenge to Marty Ward's 6th place position there as they come out of turn 1 on this very unique tri-cornered racetrack. Now they line up on the Long Pond straightaway, single file all the way back through about 11th place.
Now this corner coming up, this is what they call a tunnel corner, where you go across the tunnel, as you see there in the bottom of the picture. And this is where the car tries to push out towards the wall. It's very difficult to get through that corner. Now they're coming down the short stretch there, and they make a long sweeping corner, which is a lot like a road course corner here. It's very flat, and you have to have the car where it really gets through there to get down the front straightaway.
Fowler the leader, Lesniewski in second. And Mickey Hudspeth, who started 4th, has picked up the 3rd spot. Bob Fox Jr. in 4th. And they have a little bit of distance on the orange car of Ron Hickson. Here's Marty Ward in bright orange, peeking out from behind Hickson, but no move going into turn 1.
Well, he's handling right down on the white line there. You see the 5 car pushing out. He should just be able to blow right back by him off that corner there, because when you have that inside line, you have a good run down the straightaway.
White car 3rd in line there is Jerry Rector. He's also had a lot of success in this division. And Rector, in number 81, moves past Hickson.
Mike, for such a wide racetrack, you only use the very inside of the corners here. The outside there, when you get out in the gray portion of the corner here, you'll see the darker area where you run, and the outside there is the gray area. You get out there and the car washes right out towards the wall with you.
Off turn 3, back to the start-finish line, and Fowler is opening it up. Here's the second-place battle. Lesniewski's number 98. Mickey Hudspeth in the red number 40. Looking to the inside. Here comes Hudspeth on the right side of your screen.
You see Wally Flower down the front straightaway there, moving around a little bit. He's trying to break the draft on second-place car by moving to the inside and taking the draft away from the wall. So the natural thing for the draft to do is run down the wall. So he's getting away from it to try to break off some of the draft off his car.
Look at this number 40, a Hutchbeth. He's got the move now to the inside on Bob Fox and Marty Ward in 97. Coming up, this is 2nd through 5th. Lesneski at the front of that pack.
Marty Ward seems to have one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now. He's just positioning himself, trying to get racing position on the other cars to go right on by.
A little further back, Tim Neighbors in the 0, leading Mike Lavetri in the white 03. A little bit further back in the pack as they battle. And the car right with them is 29, Tom Sherrill out of Mooresville, North Carolina. You don't see much single-file sprout riding around in this division, do you, buddy?
Well, what they're doing right now, a lot of them are learning about the draft, but if they would tuck in and really find somebody to run with, they would run a lot faster and file with each other rather than spreading out and trying to race everybody every lap.
Mike, I just want to mention the fact that this race here at Pocono has been won without getting gas. Now, I talked to a bunch of drivers early on here this morning. They said they will probably need somewhere around 5 to 10 laps of caution flag running if, in fact, they want to try to go the distance on fuel. But as it is right now, they think they have to pit for fuel. One other note I want to make is the fact that they only get one set of tires. So some of these guys that are going to baby their tires early on might be the guys that we have to look for towards the end of this race. One set of tires, unless they flat spot them, then they get another set, but that would mean they would have to spin or wreck. So guys that are babying their tires early, we might look for later on.
Good point, Randy. Thanks. Leaders back to turn number 1. And battling there are the 38 of Bobby Fox and the 40 of Mickey Hutchbeth at the front of that pack. Hutchbeth keeps trying it down on the bottom. And it looks like now he may pay the price in that red car. So as they battle back for 6th position, we stay under green with 4 laps complete here at Pocono. Wally Fowler continues to lead here at Pocono. He has about 15 car lengths on the battle for 2nd place. It's about 1.7 seconds back to this race where Marty Ward has just taken over 2nd from the black car of Lester Lesneski, and following him up through, Jerry Rector in that white Chevrolet number 81 goes to 3rd.
Lesneski thought he could run around the outside of that corner there, and he got out in that gray stuff and almost went straight into the wall. He was very lucky to get that car back under control, but he lost a couple of positions in the time that he was out there trying to get the car turned.
Right with them in that draft, 5th place Mickey Hutchbeth in number 40. See if Marty Ward has the steam to run down the leader. Jerry Knowles ran all 60 laps here last June of 93, without a pit stop. Most folks on pit road say it's going to take at least a couple of caution flags to allow anybody to do that today. They move past Tom Weiss out of Rochester, whose car is slow to the inside, as this battle for 2nd continues. Now they've dropped, with all that battling, they've dropped to about 2.8 seconds behind race leader Wally Fowler. Buddy, how much of this is just kind of testing each other, and how much of it is not wanting to get side by side for fear the leader's going to run away?
I think the deal right now is Marty Ward has his car set up where he can run the very bottom of the racetrack, and these other guys just fall in behind him. They'll be able to run the leader down, but if they try to race back and forth, all you're going to see is the back end of the lead car go away.
They're not as close as they look in this shot. That's Fowler in the Tony's Restaurant Flounder Chevrolet. Now has a sizable lead. This is Lesneski, the black car on the inside.
Yeah, he should make that. I don't know. He almost had enough position on that car to make the pass, but the 81 car just went on down in the corner hard and took the position back.
Jerry Rector holds him off. Ooh, the 03 car almost getting a bit of the wall. Mike Lavetri has moved up to run right with those leaders. And that it is a Chrysler.
That is a Chrysler,
it looks like one of Buddy Arrington's old Imperials. but it is a Chrysler.
You know, I hope the day comes when Chrysler will get back in the Winston Cup. It was a lot of fun when you had three major organizations in there as far as car owners. When you have the Chevrolets, the Fords, and the Chrysler products, it makes for a better race.
This is a 1984 Chrysler. How about that?
I don't think I ever run against one of those things. Last time I drove a Chrysler, it was as big as the front straightaway on this particular racetrack.
All right, here's Jerry Rector in the white 81 again. And this time he's got some help. Lesniewski's going with him down to the inside, and Marty Ward pedals it just a bit and surrenders second place.
Marty Ward's car got really loose getting into the corner then, but he's able to run fast enough. He did not lose the position to Lesniewski. Easy enough for me to say, huh?
Yes. Now Lesniewski down to the inside. He's got a draft working with the number 40, Mickey Hutchman. 0-3, Lavetri staying up high. Well, there goes Lesniewski around Ward. Tough place to pass over the tunnel.
Well, Marty Ward did a smart thing there. You just cannot make it through there two abreast. Now, through this next corner, it's very tough, but he may be able to run fast enough through this corner to make a good challenge on the outside.
And Ward does it. He pushes number 97. Whoops, the Hooters Chevy.
There he goes pushing. That's what I was talking about. When you get in that gray area out there, you see him lose about 3 car lengths going through that gray area of the racetrack.
And Mickey Hudspeth gaining no ground on the inside of number 40. Here's Lavetri working with Ward.
Everybody that owns the Chrysler standing at attention right now.
And they're all here. Now Jerry Rector's taking advantage to move up in front of that whole pack. And Ward continues to battle hard with the 98 of Lesniewski.
Marty Ward has the fastest car. I'm convinced of that, but he just gets himself in some bad places on the racetrack where other people can take advantage of him.
Wally Fowler, with all this battling, has opened up a 4-second lead, and Jerry Rector has moved away just a bit from this pack. Getting overlapped is the 58 Danny Babacco from Dumont, New Jersey, the CBS Auto Body Chevy.
Yeah, that thing looked like it had a little bit of a turned-down nose on it there. It looked like he might have got a, you talk about a loose race car. Lesniewski had his hands full through that corner there. That thing was all over the place.
And there's Lavetri peeking that Chrysler's beak out there, 0-3.
I'm telling you, it's not the lowest car on the racetrack either. They could work on that thing without putting a jack under it. You can see daylight all the way under it.
Back to turn 1. And he gets a little loose. Marty Ward tries the bottom.
I don't know what Ward's doing right now. I think he's pinching the corner just a little bit. He's going to have to let the car run out coming off the corner a little bit more. He's just pinching it down, and they're driving right on by him.
And it looks funny, as if these drivers know he's the fastest car, and they're not linking up with him. They're trying to get around and hang him out to dry. Not an easy task here.
I always wondered about that. When you have the fastest, well, it looks like he's down off the pace. Well, that's what I'm talking about. You see that line there. To really run fast, you have to let the car go out just a little bit coming off the corner. He's pinching that car down on the bottom and losing a lot of time.
David Smith, number 18, the white and blue machine out of Anderson, South Carolina, has moved past Ward.
Lesniewski's coming in the pits here. This is an unscheduled stop this early in the race.
Very much so. The outside full-sitter, the Mark III Financial. Monte Carlo is on pit road, and Randy's waiting for him. Randy?
Well, I just wandered down to the pits and talked to Shari Lesniewski. This is Les's wife. The whole deal is the car is very, very tight. You'll see him sticking a wedge bolt in the back there on the left-hand side, left rear corner. They're not going to change any tires, but the car was so tight they decided to go ahead, try to loosen him up a little bit, put the fuel in, so now he's got all the fuel he needs to go the distance. Go out there, see if he can run and pick up a little speed.
Well, he's going to need a caution to catch the crowd. Here's third place, Mickey Hudspeth in that red number 40. Lavetri on the outside, and the Chrysler in number 18, David Smith.
David Smith's been running well all day today. His car seems to really get a good bite up off the corner. He gets in pretty deep, but you'll notice the car, when he starts off this corner, looks like he's eating the other cars alive coming out of the corner.
And to the inside goes David Smith.
You know, one thing that you say Lesniewski made a pit stop just now. He won't have to stop again. That's really not an advantage, though. He lost the draft on the lead cars, and that's very important on racetracks like this where you live by the traffic you're around.
That's right. He will need a caution to catch up. Marty Ward battles Mike Lavetri as Wally Fowler leads this race that is 13 of 60 laps old. We asked Wally Fowler about some of the inexperienced drivers that are out there.
Yes, there's 4 or 5 drivers from around the area that I'm from that I've raced with in the past that I'm real comfortable with. But some of these guys, just like anything else, you don't know them, you don't know their moves, and you're a little bit uncomfortable, especially running at these speeds.
$15 laps complete here in the T.G.I. Fridays Coke 150 at Pocono. Wally Fowler out of Campobello, South Carolina, has led every lap. Jerry Rector, the white car, in second. Number 40, Mickey Hudspeth, in third. And fourth continues to be the battle, buddy. The orange car, that's Marty Ward, dusting it up there with David Smith and Mike Lavetri's Chrysler.
Well, Marty Ward's car is just absolutely perfect going through the corner, and it's going to take a really good race car to, like, now they're buckled up here. You see them going down the back straightaway there. That's the perfect drafting situation. Now, if they'll stay like that and not race each other, they'll pull back up on the lead trio.
Chevrolet and an Oldsmobile there. Some of these ex-Winston Cup cars, some of them purpose-built for this series. No tire changes allowed unless the tire's flat-spotted. To help keep the cost fairly reasonable, they run 358 cubic inch engines, but with 2-barrel carburetors. So they're nowhere near as exotic as their similar-looking Winston Cup counterparts. Napa, we keep America running. Here's how they're running. We'll see it standing update.
You can see David Smith through the corner. His car is really free. He's really got to watch himself, though, because it's just on the verge of being too loose. I noticed when he goes through the tunnel turn, the car really floats on top of the racetrack, and he's driving to the right already. If he gets in the right draft and tries to turn under somebody, that could turn him around.
That's number 18, Smith, the right side of your screen, facing Marty Ward. Here's number 17, Mike Gall out of Gaffney, South Carolina, up on the outside of Tom Sherrill from Mooresville, North Carolina.
That's my neck of the woods up there, Mooresville. I live in Sherrill Ford up there, and if you're not a Sherrill, you moved in from somewhere else.
Well, this is Tom Sherrill running this 29 car. Well, they're having a good battle here.
Boy, you see both cars get in the corner there, and they look like they were little, like 2 books where you turn them just a little bit. They were a little bit on the loose side, both cars, so I imagine they'll, yeah, there they go, getting in single file, because you don't want to run side by side too long if you're real loose.
Now, 38, Bobby Fox started 4th. He's with this, and Henry Benfield, who is incidentally not the Henry Benfield that works on Junior Johnson's race team, as the gas man and truck driver. Benfield started 20th. He's now up to 11th and running right with this pack. This is 8th through 11th.
You mean there's 2 Henry Benfields in this world?
I thought they broke the mold. But I guess there are. This one's also out of Statesville, North Carolina.
Folks, the reason we're laughing, Henry Benfield is truck driver for Junior Johnson, and he's tried this division 2 or 3 times, and the biggest shot we ever get is the back end of his car coming at the camera.
Good battle going on here for 10th. Back up front, let's check with the leader, Wally Fowler, having a trouble-free race. And his question is going to be, if we stay green, can he go the distance on gas?
Here's Henry Benfield.
Yeah, he just got real loose there, and Bob Fox put a little distance on him. Fox in 38. Battle for 4th. Once again, David Smith, number 18. Mike Lavetri in the Chrysler 03, and Marty Ward, 97, go at it.
Well, I think they both realize that there's no way in the world to run fast on the outside of that corner, so you have to get down single file and go through that corner and set him up for a pass down the next straightaway.
Plus, you come down into that turn 1. That's pretty intimidating looking after you've been on the straightaway all day.
Well, that's the truth. You know, the straightaways here as long as they are at Daytona Beach, Florida, so you're really humming when you start in that corner, and they have little plates sticking out there with numbers on them, 1, 2, and 3. You pass that 3, you're whistling. That's true.
Wally Fowler out of Campobello, South Carolina, has led every lap so far, but it's far from over. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the T.G.I. Fridays Coca-Cola 150 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Welcome back to the Pocono International Raceway for the running of the T.G.I. Fridays 150 Sportsman Division race here this afternoon, as well as the ARCA 150 coming up a little bit later on. Got a great race going on out on the track right now. Lap 21, and Wally Fowler continues to lead. Mike Joy, got a good race going on.
Thanks, Randy. That we do, but it's all behind this man, your leader. Fowler just kind of took off once he got going, and they started battling for second place on back behind him. Now, we were right and we were wrong. We were right. They did break the mold, and we were wrong. That is Henry Benfield, the man who gasses Junior Johnson's Budweiser Ford on Winston Cup race day.
Well, we're used to seeing him with Budweiser sponsorship. He must have a new sponsorship for today. T.G.I. Lumber Company, yeah.
That is Douglas Trucking. But that is Henry Benfield. I'll be darned. Good for Henry. 51 years old, and he's starting his racing career. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, well, he's doing a great job. A while ago, he was a little bit loose, but he's still holding on.
He's running 10th. And right behind him, number 38, Bobby Fox, off Long Island in the Mobile 1 Chevrolet.
Now,
Adding to the Henry Benfield story, you guys, Henry told me that he's building another new car. So he's got one here, he's got another brand new one, and theoretically, he said he may be renting that car when we come up for our races in the fall at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I don't quite know what the price tag is, but maybe for $5 grand, if you have a little experience, you might be able to jump in one of Henry Benfield's cars.
Well, that could be a lot of fun.
I'd want it to handle a little bit better than
Just a little bit. Just a little better. As you can see, Bobby Fox has gotten back around Benfield in that battle for 10th place. Our outside pole sitter, Lester Lesneski, back on pit road for a second time. As Wally Fowler will put him a lap down as he completes lap 23.
You know, I've explained to the people that are watching this thing, the reason we don't show the leader a whole bunch, he's in another area code from everybody else. He just moved right on away, and he's like a full straightaway hit in the front right now, and in the front. Boy, that's English, isn't it?
6-second lead.
Yeah, big lead.
5th place is the battle here. 0-3, Michael Lavetri, and number 18, David Smith. There are those braking markers you talked about, buddy. 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, you get down to that one there, it's time to send up the smoke signal.
Let's go to Lester Lesneski's pit. Here's Randy.
Well, guys, we talked about early on that he wasn't going to change any tires. Nobody can, but they've just changed right side tires. He's come to a stop in his pit. He may very well have had a tire going down. Very, very long pit stop. He is 1 lap down now, so he will definitely need at least 1 caution to catch back up. I'll check to make sure that if whether he had a tire go down or maybe he got off the course and flat spotted one.
Thanks, Randy. It'll be tough to make up a lap with the single file restarts that they employ in this division for both the initial start of the race and the restarts after a caution flag. Here comes the 2nd place battle at you. There's Wally Fowler, who is your leader, excuse me. And
well, you can see it's not a walk in the park even for the leader there. The car was extremely loose getting in the corner there. He's taking a wide apex, and that normally means that the car's extremely loose and you're giving as much racetrack as you can to get back straight.
Ooh, way up the track goes Lavetri. The 5th place car has to grab a handful as they try to lap Gary Ritter, the yellow number 37, out of Whiting, New Jersey.
Meanwhile, David Smith is on the move right now. He is coming up on everybody here. You know, that's the 18 car. You see the 3rd car in that frame. He's really getting through the corner super good.
Across the tunnel turn, turn 2. These cars, they run in such a very hard rubber compound, buddy. Does that contribute to some of this sliding around?
Well, about now, they're getting a little heat in these tires, and they are extremely hard. They don't have to change tires, as a matter of fact, unless they cut one or flat spot it. So as they go along, they will get pretty greasy and pretty hard to handle.
Battle battle for second place up ahead of these cars. And there it is. They go through turn 1. They are 6.4 seconds back of the leader, Jerry Rector in the white 81, Mickey Hudspeth in the number 40, and that's another Junior Johnson Country car, Mickey Hudspeth out of Ronda.
Well, I tell you what, Junior Johnson probably owns about a third of the field right here. Everybody wants to know where the Monte Carlos go to die. Right here it is, folks. They're on the racetrack, and they're doing a good job. They're probably the best race car ever built was Monte Carlo as far as consistency on the racetrack and long green runs. They're wide. They really get a side bite in the corner. A great race car.
And those cars getting quite a workout and a second life here in NASCAR's Sportsman division. Closing in on halfway, Wally Fowler has led every lap so far. We'll be right back. Trouble on the sixth-place car. Pride Connor out of Howell, New Jersey. The K-Wall Chevrolet has found itself against the wall. After spinning, and caution is out for the first time today. We went 28 laps before the first caution flag, and that is laudable for these drivers. It's a far cry from the early days of the Sportsman division.
Well, he just come off the tunnel turn and got on the outside wall there. You can see the black marks where he's making contact there. That's hard lick.
Ted Walters and crew will have their work cut out for them between now and Charlotte. But it looks like Pride Connor's going to be able to nurse this one back to pit road. It will erase Wally Fowler's lead. That's bad news for Wally, but good news for the rest of this field. He had opened up almost 7 seconds on the rest of the field. So under this first caution flag of the day, we're closing in on the halfway mark, and we'll be right back to Pocono International Raceway as our doubleheader continues. We are under the first caution of the day here at Pocono. Bob Fox Jr., who started fourth and then drifted back a bit in the field in his Mobile 1 Monte Carlo, has stayed on the racetrack while most of the other leaders pitted for a splash of gas. So Fox assumes the lead. Give you the lineup here in just a moment. T.G.I. Fridays backing this race here at Pocono as they'll take halfway under caution. Earlier, Randy talked with Smokey Hughes, marketing manager for T.G.I. Fridays.
Why do you think stock car racing has become such a marketing tool for many companies across the country?
Well, I think that the main reason is it's a great family sport. You know, Dad can come and snoop around the cars and hang around the pits, and Mom can have a great time, and the kids love it too. I mean, I have 2 daughters, and they love stock car racing more than they like baby dolls, so it's a good time for all.
Thanks, Smokey. Glad to have you with us today.
Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
We're at the 30-lap mark under the first caution of the day. Up front, number 38, Bobby Fox Jr., who did not pit. David R. Smith in car number 6 has taken up the second position out of Holt, Florida. Tim Neighbors, number 0, is third. Fourth, R.C. Hickson out of Saudi Daisy, Tennessee. And fifth was the 03 of Mike Lavetri out of Oakdale, Connecticut before he made a pit stop. So Wally Fowler, after making his stop, comes back onto the track in 6th position. And Lavetri did stay on the track. He is the 5th place car as yet.
Well, there it is. He's the first one, Bob Fox Jr. I came down to his pit. I said, you guys didn't pit. Why? He said, well, we're not gonna. So we talked about it early on about people attempting to stretch their fuel the entire distance. We got a few caution laps we're burning here, and they're not going to pit at all, so they're going the distance. He probably won't be the only one, Mike and Buddy.
No, I wouldn't think so. We'll see. Number 37 was in the pits. Gary Ritter had trouble with the right rear axle after he came out after his pit stop. And the pace truck's pulling in.
Pace truck. That's very important. Most racetracks have pace cars, pace truck here.
That's Bob Fox getting set to go back to green. We're exactly halfway, and the ARCA Supercar Series follows on today's TNN doubleheader.
You know, Mike, we cover a lot of racing, and track position in a lot of places means a lot. But on this racetrack, if you're fast, you can go right to the front.
Well, that's why I was surprised that Lavetri in 03 is the 5th place car. He made a stop just a few laps ago under green. The caution came out, and when the other leaders pitted, he just came up to the pace car and sits there in 5th spot. Let's see how it plays out. Big battle up front as they go back to green.
One thing about them, they're not satisfied running with a single foul around this racetrack. But you watch the outside car, how much ground he loses in between the center of this corner and the straightaway. Well, looks like I called a bad one there. It looks like the inside car is not going that well.
Well, that's Tim Neighbors in that black 0, who was third at the time of the caution, and he's up challenging for the lead. Right behind him, number 5, R.C. Hickson. And they're going to hang 38, Bobby Fox, to the outside.
Mike, one thing, when you're running 2-barrel carburetor, it's hard to get these cars back up to speed. It takes almost a full lap to get everything going back under normal conditions.
Yeah, you keep looking for those secondaries to kick in, and they never do. They're not there. Hickson, out of Tennessee, the Volunteer Trucking Chevy, goes to the lead. Tim Neighbors just behind him, and then Bobby Fox. And then a big swarming pack double wide. We'll make that 3 wide just behind them.
Let's try 4. Everybody's trying to get in there, but when they get back to this corner, you watch them sort themselves out and try to get single file to get in the corner.
Ooh. Down to the bottom goes Hickson in the 5.
Tim Neighbors come as close to wrecking that race car getting in the corner as you can come just then. He got really sideways getting in the corner.
And look behind them. They stayed 2 wide all the way through turn 1.
Just like I said, they always get single file.
They're not listening. Double wide across the tunnel turn. Hickson and Neighbors.
This can't continue here. Somebody's going to have to take dominance here and get the lead.
Doesn't look like either car. That's the fun thing about Pocono, buddy. The car that's good in turn 1 won't be the car that's as good in turn 3, and you have a lot of lead changes here.
Whoa, look at Bobby Fox Jr. You talk about getting sideways now. He showed you what that steering turns to the right for just then. He was all the way cranked sideways coming off the corner just then.
Wally Fowler way out of the draft on the right side of your screen, but trying to take the lead. Can he do it?
Yeah. You know, we're just thinking, Mike, this has been Charlotte, North Carolina. There's been 3 wrecks in that one corner there where you just can't jerk the car around. But with the flatter corners here, you have the ability to jerk the car around a little more and catch it back, where at Charlotte or somewhere where you're on a bank racetrack, you just spin right around.
Fowler's going to try it again. Moves up on Hickson and takes 2nd place, going to the tunnel. Hickson in the 5 drops in line. So now it's just Tim Neighbors out front, all by himself for the moment.
Yeah, but he's got Wally's up. We got a car spinning off the tunnel turn over here. I see smoke up there.
There it is, number 83. The Ramsey's car of Shari Blakely out of San Antonio, Texas. The Randy Rector Buick, no caution as yet.
She's pretty far off the racing surface. She's refired it there. You see smoke coming out of the exhaust pipe. She'll try to put it in reverse now and get off that inside wall.
Looks like she's just got a piece of the tire wall there with the nose. Like she's well off the racing surface. We're going to continue green as Marty Ward in 97 moves up on Jerry Rector.
Jerry Rector was running 2nd just before that last caution, and he seems to have lost some of the momentum right now. You could see Ward making a move on him pretty easily there, but as the tires get hotter, I think the 81 car runs a little freer. Jerry Rector runs a little freer through the corner.
Well, now he's got to battle the 18 of David Smith. And Smith will move up. Rector out of Fountain Inn, South Carolina there, number 81, in the Trotter Bail Bond Chevrolet.
Well, that car's got a tremendous amount of straightaway speed. You can see him just move away from the 2 cars he's racing.
And Wally Fowler is back in the lead. You saw him complete the pass on Tim Neighbors there, just as they went to turn 1. Neighbors in the 0. And R.C. Hickson out of Tennessee in the number 5.
That car, Wally Fowler, is not only fast down the straightaway, it's extremely fast through the corner, but it's not a picnic for him. He's having to work pretty hard. I noticed the car's a little bit loose getting in the corner, so he'll have to watch that.
Third place car, number 5, Hickson, finished 6th and 9th here in the 2 Sportsman races last year. Looking to improve on that. Presently, 3rd, behind Tim Neighbors, who was 6th here last June. For 6th place.
You see David Smith there coming through the corner. The car seems to be working a little bit better. I don't know whether they made any changes on the pit stop or not, but the car seems to be running very well at the moment.
David out of Anderson, South Carolina, the American Fitting Old. James Day owns the race car. And yeah, he's one car that has shown a consistent ability to pass and move up in the pack. Buddy, is this a good division to start out in? If you had some short track experience, you want to learn to run the super speedways, would you come here?
Absolutely. Anytime you can take a car, and really they're about 10 miles an hour off the Western Cup, 15, 20 miles an hour off the Western Cup run, and you have the ability to learn to draft at a little slower speed. You have the bi-ply tires on these cars that are a little more forgiving when you get sideways. Just a lot of features. Yeah, I would come here in a minute if I was starting out.
4th place battle here. 81, Jerry Rector, 97, Marty Ward, and 18, David Smith. 2 Chevys and an Old. We are 37 of 60 laps complete in the NASCAR Sportsman event. The ARCA Supercars coming up in our doubleheader a little later on. Stay with us. But for his pit stop, family affair. Wayne Fowler is the car owner. Marshall Fowler is the crew chief for Wally. And behind him, Tim Neighbors in the 0. Jimmy Neighbors, car owner and crew chief on car 0. For Neighbors, 3rd, number 5, R.C. Hickson in the Jim Hatler-owned Chevrolet. Ronald Williams crew servicing Hickson. And then this battle, well, first the number 81 of Jerry Rector and the 97 of Marty Ward. And then here comes number 40, Mickey Hudspeth. Dallas Hudspeth owned Kevin Johnson Wrench, D&D Tire Chevy, number 40. And he's got the big challenge from David Smith filling up his mirror in that American Fitting Old.
I'd like to see David Smith have a car that run down the straightaway like he does through the corner. I tell you, he's driving his heart out, but that car just won't go down the straightaway. He can make up 4 or 5 car lengths on people in the corner, and they run off down the straightaway from him.
He's got that car right down on the bottom. You see the much higher line taken by Hudspeth in the 40. And he closes right back up coming out of the corner, buddy, as you say. He just can't quite hang with him, even in the draft, going down long time.
No, he should. If he was running even with the 40 car, he should be even with him and passing him going in that tunnel turn there.
The number 18, David Smith, won at Charlotte in 1993. He chases Hudspeth. As I mentioned, it's a doubleheader here at Pocono. The ARCA Supercars are getting ready to rumble, and one of their most persistent winners is Randy Pemberton.
Well, it's Jeff Purvis. He's going to start on the outside of row 1 today. Jeff, you're always a threat. I see the guys working on the car over here. What are the last-minute things are these guys doing before you get ready to go out there in a few minutes?
Well, we came in here this morning and only got about 30 minutes of practice, and we were having a little bit of motor problems earlier. We don't know if it's carburetor, exactly what it is, or distributor. But right now they're just trying to get the car ready for, to try to make the whole race, but also to try to find the problem we had earlier today.
You know, you were up here about a month ago, qualified for this race. How much of this car is exactly the same as it was back there a month ago when you went to this race today?
Well, we brought this car straight from Michigan. Now, we raced it in Michigan. It ran real good right there, and we went back, changed the springs, and then brought it straight up here. So it's the same car.
Okay, good luck today, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy. Some wild 3-wide racing here. This is for second place.
That's not a race, that's a dog fight there. Those guys made about 3 changes for lead there in the past lap. You see Hickson going underneath the car of Tim Neighbors there. He should be able to make that pass and head down the long straightaway, but coming into the shot there, the 97 car of Marty Ward, all these cars are really fast, and if they'll hook up, I think they'll run the leaders right back down.
And there you see the 83 back in the race, Sherry Blakely. And moving over to let the leaders by. Second place battle here. Well, make this the third place battle because second place, Jerry Rector has opened up a little daylight. That white car is Rector.
See Marty Ward, he's in the draft there. Now, whether he'll sit there and try to close in on the 5-car or not, you'll have to wait and see. Because every time I say these guys are going to do something, they do just the opposite. But if they're real smart right now, they'll try to stay single file until they get on front straightaway and draft right up on the 5-car.
That they do here on the short shoot, but they have to get through that long, looping, flat turn 3 before they hit the front straightaway. Watching 3rd through 6th as the 18 of David Smith comes into the picture and kind of spoils that draft a bit. Now he goes with Ward in the 97. They drop 1 lane down, but they just don't seem to have the power down the front straight to move up on Neighbors. Now they will, because Neighbors going to take it too wide on number 5, Hickson. Tim Neighbors looking for second. Not going to get it.
Not quite. That's a smart move not to get up under somebody getting in that corner, though. If you just barely touch somebody there, the car is real light in the back there. It'll turn right around on them.
But as he corrected, Marty Ward got underneath him for 3rd. Now you see Hickson in the 5 is able to open up a little daylight because Ward has number 18, David Smith, pushing with him, and they move right on by Tim Neighbors. Well, excuse me, they move right on up to Tim Neighbors.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Yeah, by is another story.
If he can keep that position into this flat corner coming toward the front straightaway, though, he should be able to just go right on by the 0 car of Tim Neighbors.
Yeah, but look at Neighbors stuff it into the corner. He's doing everything he can to stay right with Ward.
That's temporary. I guarantee you he won't keep that spot. You watch. See where he's at now? He loses 2 spots by going wide there.
And he may lose the 3rd one here to Mickey Hudson. Nope, they go 3 wide. Well, that's just what Marty Ward needed.
Now, he looked up in the mirror and seen the 40 car drop to the inside. He said, I want no part of that because he has the momentum. He moved over to help the 0 car a little bit and keep the draft from being over there with the 40 car coming down the front straightaway.
And now this battle becomes back at 5th spot. Only 1 caution today for a harmless spin. Or, excuse me, no, for a car in the wall. There was a harmless spin that did not bring out a caution. Only 1 yellow flag so far. Bryce Connor. And that caution lasted only 3 laps. 17 to go. Wally Fowler has again paid the bill and checked out. Hi, Wally. Bye, Wally.
You know one thing, no, we've watched enough races in the past couple of years. That don't mean a thing what you're looking at right there. One slip in one corner, he can slip up just a little bit. The 81 car can move in on him there, and you have a race for the lead again. So a little bit of a lead, a second and a half on a racetrack really don't mean anything.
Nope. Here's Pride Connor, the car that brought out the caution, as you can see. Still out there gaining laps, and he is only 1 lap down.
That's incredible. That car will still roll. Look at the sheet now. Pushed back on the left front tire there. They're lucky that it's not rubbing the tire.
All right, 16 laps to go. And the question is, can Wally Fowler outlast the field? With all that battling going on for seconds behind him.
Is brought to you by 104 Plus Octane Boost. Feel the power.
14 laps to go here at Pocono. Wally Fowler told Randy Pemberton at the start of the day that he thought he had the fastest car here, and indeed he has. And the car is handled well, and it seems to have a lot of power. He's been aided by the drivers behind him battling for position. Side by side, but Jerry Rector runs in 2nd. Marty Ward is 3rd. Number 5 of R.C. Hickson there is 4th, and they were 3 wide for 5th. Tim Neighbors on the outside. Here comes Mickey Hudspeth in the red number 40. He'll get 5th place as they move into turn 1. I'd say the handlingest car here, buddy, would have to be David Smith in that number 18.
David Smith has to have the best race car in the corner and the worst one down the straightaway. He can get by anybody, and then he hits the straightaway, and they wonder which way they're going to pass him when they get on the straightaway. But he is running very well through the corner. And, you know, that really helps the guy for his crew to say, listen, we had a good race car in the corners that wouldn't go down the straightaway. We can work on that. But corner speed, that's something you really look for.
Tim Neighbors in the 0, a little out of shape coming off the tunnel. His best finish this year is 3rd at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And right with him, Tom Sherrill.
Mike, talking about that tunnel turn, what makes that so difficult is you go down a long straightaway, and then it's basically a flat corner that has a kind of a bump in the middle part, and the car washes out towards the wall, and then 9 out of 10 people try to jerk the car away from the wall, and it throws the back end out.
Which is just what happened there to Tim Neighbors. Doesn't it feel like you kind of float across that corner? It's kind of unsettling to get used to. You just kind of get in there and you go across there and you float.
Well, I used to just go in there and lose it and then try to get it back straight. That's the best way to get through there.
I'm not that brave, thank you. 12 laps to go, and these cars are running 10 seconds behind the leader. In this pack from Hudspeth on back. And you see they have dispensed with the 0 of Tim Neighbors. This is back at 5th position.
David Smith, how smooth he gets through the corner. That's a good race car, but he has to stay right where he's at. He does not have the straightaway speed to go by Hudspeth.
Yeah, he's impressed me today. Good drive. Fowler and Rector stay about the same distance apart. Long way back to 3rd place, Marty Ward. 4th place, R.C. Hickson. This battle is now for 7th place. Tim Neighbors with Tom Sherrill. Sherrill in the Nelson Motorsports Chevrolet. Just doesn't seem to get through the corner quite as well.
No, I was watching Sherrill's car. It washes out off the corner. That usually means the car is pushing the nose just a little bit and won't make the turn out towards the straightaway.
Now here you see the leader, Wally Fowler, and his lead is diminishing because now Jerry Rector is running him down. There's Rector, the 2 white cars running 1-2.
Wow, wouldn't this be something if he does run him down? All day long, Wally Fowler just had the dominant car, but the 81 car just before the pit stops a while ago, when the caution come out, was running second. He seems to be pulling right down as we speak. Every lap he seems to gain about 2 or 3 car lengths.
The lead is down to 1.6 seconds. And there's Marty Ward lapping around the number 13 of Tom Weiss out of New York State. Ward, big winner at Charlotte. Dumps it in 3rd here right now. Nicky Hudspeth now up into 4th in that number 40 car. Working to the outside of Weiss. And 5th place remains the battle. Number 18, David Smith out of South Carolina. Going up on Hudspeth once again. Gets that good run over the tunnel. And the number 5, R.C. Hickson, is part of that battle as well. That's the 6th place car. 7th would be the 0 of Tim Neighbors. And in 8th, unofficially, Tom Sherrill, number 29.
The car real slow coming off turn 4 headed for pit road right now. It looks like he got up there and maybe has a cut tire or something because he went really wide. I was worried about oncoming traffic.
Danny Babacco, number 58 out of Dumont, New Jersey, that is. Next car back is number 62, Ronald Grindstaff out of Manchester, Pennsylvania. Another family racing effort. Takes us back to 9th place. Whoa, hang on. 13 continues to wave cars past. And back at 10th, that's David R. Smith in the number 6, battling Bobby Fox in the 38 in 10th and 11th. David R.'s got a handful there.
Well, I'll tell you what, the 13 car of Tom Weiss looked like the right front wheel was shaking real bad. I don't know whether he has a tie rod or something broke on that car or what, but it was wiggling front end really bad.
Pride Connor still running. That's the car that brought out our only caution today so far as he slapped the wall, turning the car around, coming over the tunnel turn. He is 1 lap down. 8 laps to go. Let's take a quick break and come back for the finish, and the ARCA Supercars will follow. We'll be right back to Pocono on the Nashville Network.
No,
There's Fowler, but the action is behind him. Fourth place. They've been slugging it out here, and David Smith goes back into fourth.
Finally, David Smith made that move that he has to make, but he's so off down the straightaway, I wouldn't be surprised to see the 40 car of Huskies come right back on him.
There's Marty Ward just ahead, the third place car. If these two stay linked up, they might be able to have a run at Ward for third. Well, the 18 is so strong through that corner. Now it's a matter of Hudspeth could draft fast and run him down.
Out, so everybody's going to show the muscle if they have any right now, trying to make this track position, get in a position to keep the car behind you out of the draft as much as possible.
Now Jerry Rector had been running down the leader, but Wally Fowler had a look at his mirror and opened the gap back up to 3 seconds. 4 laps to go as they come by. Fowler all by himself, where he has spent most of the day. The car really works well. Right down to the bottom. Right where you'd want it.
You know, you made an observation there most people don't see. When you go in, if the car is a little bit loose, you can turn it and keep it down, but you have to keep your car under control all the way and not overdrive the corner. And that lets the car turn and you can pick up the throttle. So a loose race car is actually faster if you can keep it under control.
Fowler's done just that for the 60 laps. He fell back out of the top 5 only on the pit stop under caution, and then marched his way back up front to the lead. Three to go. And there's Jerry Rector crossing the stripe. Ooh, trouble. One car slams the wall hard.
Whoa,
Number 94, David Hagelin, and everybody's going to get by. Wow. Now that is way up the front straightaway. Hagelin having trouble exiting turn 3. The Lanola Auto Mall Buick out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And it has been shortened up a bit on the right front.
Boy, that's a hard lick. The whole front end is full right down on the right front wheel there.
Top of your screen, top right. Ooh.
Mike, that looked like the right rear may have. I can't see whether it's flat or not, but that car wiggled so bad off the corner. He may have just overcorrected, had a little bit sideways, and it jumped right straight back in the wall.
Here's another angle.
Yeah, that's, man, you can see that whole race car jump up in the air. He hit so hard.
Number 94, David Hagelin. Rescue trucks on the scene as the safety truck picks up the field. He is out of the car. He's okay.
So caution coming in about 57 of a 60-lap event. And Wally Fowler of Campbell, South Carolina.
So only the second caution flag today. Been a relatively incident-free race. Both the two cautions and the single car spin were all one-car incidents.
You can see the driver's okay. He's kind of wiggling his neck back and forth. Anytime you hit head-on like that, it gives your head a good jar in your neck, but he seems to be okay. You go in, it's mandatory to go in and get checked.
That's where you go in, and when they ask you, where does it hurt, you say, in my wallet. We're going to go green in one lap and have a shootout. We'll be back with the one-lap finale and the ARCA Supercar right after this word.
Along with the yellow, that means it will end under caution.
Yeah, buddy, they had given them a 1 to go optimistically as they crossed the line, but it appears the cleanup is going to take just a little bit longer.
at the exit of turn number 3, where Hagelin dumped some fluid down there. They didn't want to race through that and come back to the green flag. So if Wally Fowler can continue behind the safety truck one more lap, he'll go to victory lane.
Well, Wally Fowler has worked so hard all day today to lead this race. I didn't want to see him have to make a drag race out of it on the last lap anyhow.
Well, certainly he's proven that today he has the car to do it, as Fowler has led all but 4 laps in the Flounder Seafood number 4.
And there you have it. He did not flounder. He took off today.
That's for sure. Coming up, the ARCA Supercar Series in our Pocono doubleheader. And the sun beginning to poke through here on what has been an overcast and humid and will quickly become a sunny and muggy day. Chance of showers late in the afternoon, but it should not affect us here. Well, it's the easiest laps Wally Fowler will run all day, are these behind the safety car. But this is the one that will lead him to victory lane.
That's the famous tunnel turn we were talking about. That's where all the drivers get in trouble. That's where the race car unloads and runs right out towards that wall there.
What did you once say? That wall is backed up by concrete and the state of Pennsylvania.
You got it.
Yeah. The Fowler is going to win it. Jerry Rector will be the second place car in number 81. In third will be Marty Ward, number 97. And in fourth, number 18, David Smith, as they come to turn number 3. In fifth, Mickey Hudspeth in the number 40. So a tough break perhaps for Jerry Rector, who was running Fowler down, but then Wally was able to open up the lead to a decisive 3 seconds. And the checkered flag is out. Wally Fowler wins the T.G.I. Fridays Coca-Cola 150. Jerry Rector pulls up alongside to offer congratulations. And we'll be back to talk with the winner in victory lane and get ready for the Pocono. And announcer Bill Dimmick. The man he will greet there will be Wally Fowler out of Campobello, South Carolina. The Flounder Seafood, Tony's Restaurant, Stock Car Fabrication Chevrolet. There's Jerry Rector pulling alongside the second place finisher. And Fowler will make that hard left turn to victory lane, where Randy Pemberton is waiting.
Wally Fowler brings his Chevrolet into victory lane. He said before the show he's been waiting for this for a long time. Possibly a future Winston Cup Busch Grand National driver. We don't know. But he made one big step today. Let's see if we can get in here and get a word with Wally. Wally, congratulations on a fine effort. You led just about the whole show.
Thank you, thank you. Ooh, wasn't that nice?
How'd the car work? Perfectly? It looked like it did.
I tell you what, this Flounder Night and Electric down under Tony Chevrolet was perfect all day long. I got to thank my crew. They coached me on the radio. There wasn't nothing to do but just sit here and drive it. It was superb.
What does it mean to a young man like yourself that starts out in a division like this, wants to win, finally does? Put it in perspective. What does it mean for you?
It means the world.
Well, you heard it right there. It means the world to Wally Fowler. Great race for this guy and this entire team here.
Buddy, doesn't look like he broke a sweat.
No, he did a very good job. He had enough sponsors, about as many sponsors there was laps in the race today.
Well, he did a good job. Wally Fowler is your winner here at Pocono. Jerry Rector is second. Marty Ward is third, all in Chevrolet, as David Smith's Oldsmobile is fourth, and Mickey Hudspeth fifth. Tim Neighbors, Tom Sherrill, R.C. Hickson, Ronnie Grindstaff, and Bobby Fox Jr., the top 10. Then David R. Smith, Don Wagner, Bill Ferguson. Henry Benfield finished 14th ahead of Michael Lavetry in the Chrysler. Andy Thurman, Stuart Ramseur, Robin Caldwell, Jim Lamoureux, and Pride Connor finished 20th with that battered-up race car. Then Sherry Blakely, Tom Weiss, David Hagelin, Danny Babaco, and Shari Minter, 25th. Mike Galt, Gary Ritter, and the outside pole sitter, Lester Lesneski, with a turned-up brake caliper, was the first car out of the race. There's the trophy that'll be given to Wally Fowler in Victory Lane celebration, and right next to it, the one for the ARCA 150, which comes up next. Stay with us here at TNN as our Pocono doubleheader continues.